Be honest with me. Is she a guy? Dating for like 10 years. Like, he didn't put no ring on it after 10 years, but this is so ghetto. I guess he was lit by that guy that broke Dangling, because no shade.
Just act like they want action, but they want action. Bitch, we ain't talking no action. I'm about to get them that traction, send a distraction. Then I'm a line them like fractions. Break, I let them live. Look at all them eating, but these bitches don't be mad once I.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be another freaking banger, because today we are talking about how I fell out with my cousin over a boy, over a guy, over a man I didn't even want. If you want to hear the juicy tea on this video and why it really grinds my gears, then stay in tuned, because we got a show for y'all today. So if you guys see me looking down, I am looking at my notes because we have a lot to get into. You guys not telling me I didn't have my lip gloss on is crazy. I just kind of want to give you guys a background on my cousin. My cousin is 10 years older than me. Her name is Victoria. She used to babysit my sister and I when we were younger. So I kind of really looked up to her because she was the cooler, older cousin. And she used to really give us life advice, whether it be about guys, whether it be about life in general, or whether it be like moving out, any type of situations, dealing with like issues in the home or anything like that, fan drama. She was the cousin or the friend in our heads to run to. The reason why Victoria and I kind of bonded the way that we did was because Victoria is the black sheep of her family. If you guys know me, if you know my tea, then you guys know that I'm trans, and navigating my trans or womanhood with this family was a roller coaster. So having her in my corner was just a blessing, because I always just felt like I couldn't talk to anybody, I couldn't do anything, but she was just always an open ear. She was the cousin that you wanted to go out with, you wanted to hang out with, because she just had an exciting life. She was the girl I wanted to be when I was, you know, the boy I didn't want to be. She was just really cool in my head. When I was younger, obviously I didn't come out yet, but she would always tell me, come out, like, just be you, do you. Like, she was always in my corner. She was always just, you know, my biggest cheerleader at the time. Later on, I did find out that she said that everyone already knew, and my parents were just turning a blind eye because they were kind of in denial about it. She helped me get my own health insurance so that I could easily transition when it comes to the medical aspects of things. I haven't had any surgeries. I just literally popped pills, cop cribs in the hills on them. I was supposed to never settle when it came to guys. You know, never talk to broke guys. It's so funny. Just knowing what I know is so funny. I'm going to give you guys the characters in the story now. There is Victoria, there is Q, and there is my sister and I. Q is her man, or the guy in this story, and Victoria is my cousin. But the good always comes to bad. My cousin was a narcissist. I always kind of pushed that away in the back of my mind, because I feel like a lot of times when situations were not about her, she made them about her. Really annoying how things played out. Whenever we went out, she would always start drama so unnecessarily, especially when situations didn't even call for drama or call for the issues that she was causing. Whenever we went out to eat at a restaurant, she was always never satisfied with the service that was being provided, whether it be the server, the food, the waiter, music, the ambiance. It was always something. She was literally a black Haitian Karen. Getting into going out with her, actually nightlife and like actually doing stuff, another ballpark. She was always picking fights. What did Nikki say? It was always a long debate about women versus men versus this, who was smarter, who was this, who was that. And it's just like, it's so draining. Like, we're literally here to have a good time, and you're causing problems. I don't want problems. Always. I don't want problems. But she did. One of the things that I find problematic in a lot of times when it comes to black women, I'm just gonna put that in there, but you know, a lot of times being a black trans woman, I kind of get to see what it's like to inhabit spaces with cisgender black females. Their homophobia is just, it just Like, it just sounds wrong. Like, why are you this way? Whenever a guy isn't interested in her, she would literally just assume that they were gay. And it's just, maybe you're not his type. I don't know. Maybe you're doing too much. Maybe you turned him off. Because, babes, me go out with you, I know it's easy for you to turn somebody off. Because you used to turn me off. Like, the thing with me is, I'm not passive aggressive, but I'm so, like, I'll push something to the side before I even address it because I just sit there and think about it. I find myself always pushing something to the side when it came to her. And I'm sick of the bullshit. Say she gets into an argument with a guy, she would literally call him all types of gay, all types of B words. And it's just, how do you just turn into such a homophobic person when your cousin is literally trans and a part of that community? You've literally seen them when they identified as gay or just coming out into their transness, into their womanness, and you're just gonna sit here and just use all this disgusting language towards somebody when you know your cousin, somebody that you're close to, somebody that you watched grow up, somebody that you literally babysat, mentored, like spoke to, like dealt with, is part of this community. It doesn't register in your brains that maybe, this is wrong. There's other things you can say to somebody. Whatever. That's a lot of times the reason why a lot of times men are DL. If you really want to unpack it. Their peers, they're not really, oh, I'm DL because I want to be DL. No, they're DL because of the people that are around them are gonna act like this. But we can unpack that later. There was another situation that if we just cut ties there, it would have been, or saved us all of this drama. Because we cannot come back from this one. We could have maybe been cordial with the last one, but we cannot come back from this one. Because every time there's an issue and she is she's the problem, it's just she's nervous now she has anxiety, now she's this, now she's that. Babes, just take accountability. You never take accountability, you never apologize, you never do anything. So my sister and I just pushed it to the side again. Now ushering Q. The way that we met Q was because Q works at this like club / pubs, this place that we like to frequent. Well, he did. And we would be there a lot. So we would, no shade, we would be there a lot. And my cousin kind of just hit it off. But in the beginning of their talking stage, it was very much, oh, I'm not talking to him, I'm not doing anything, I'm just chatting, like I'm just chilling. Like, but every time we would pull up, they would be so booed up. They would be booed up. She would send us snaps. And she's with him. Like, they would be hugged up in the club. Like, you can't tell me that's not your man. That's not your fake man. Y'all always were hugged up, booed up, doing bullette and stuff. Like, please, cut the bull. I know Q because I know Q's brother. I know Q's sister. I went to high school with them. Q is about 5 years older than me. I don't know. At the time, he was 28 and I was 24. Now he's 29, I think. I don't know. I don't care. 4 to 5 years older than me. I used to work at a grocery store and I used to see his sister and his mom a lot. And that's how I knew of the family. I just knew them before I knew him. It was one point in time where it was like SantaCon and it was kind of really, really, really cold out. And you know, girls, like they just kind of huddle when it's cold. So my cousin, my sister, and I all huddled on top of each other, and she was huddling on, like, she was like facing us, and I was hugging my cousin, my sister was hugging me and my cousin, and she was kind of backed up on him. So we weren't touching him, but my cousin was like backed up on him. So I was kind of looking around because I always am looking for cues to see if somebody is uncomfortable with my transness before I even really engage. So I wasn't picking up on any cues. I wasn't getting anything. I was just, all right, I was like, all right, cool. Like, maybe he knows, maybe he doesn't know. But it doesn't really matter because I'm not dealing with you. So why do I care if you know? Or why do I care to share or divulge this information to you? It's none of your business. It's none of your freaking beeswax. One night after leaving the club, we ended up on a boat because my sister had known someone who could get us on a boat. So it was like cold, but we were getting on a boat because we was getting on a boat. We was on that boat chilling, and I guess My cousin had invited Q. My cousin Victoria had invited Q. Q pulls up, but Q pulls up with another guy that works at the club. Mind you, he's not that important. He literally has a 2-second role, honestly, in this story time, but it's really not that crazy. They pull up, but they're being weird. They're being really quiet. I'm not really paying attention to them because they're not here for me. I'm not here for them. I don't really care. Just think he was silly in my opinion. Silly to look at. And I hated to look at it. I hate to look at things that I don't care for. They weren't even really talking to each other. They were just existing almost. But it was kind of weird in my opinion. Time speeds by and we're getting ready to leave. Q and his friend left first and my cousin went with them and I went with my sister. It was nothing else after that. But next day I get a call from my cousin. She's like, we're being weird because it says that when they were in the car, Q's friend was like, be honest with us right now. Are they derogatory term for trans girls? If you know what I'm talking about, then you know. And she was like, no. And Q was like, are you sure? She was like, yes. I used to change them when they were kids. I know what's going on. It was whatever. During this time when I felt like it wasn't their business to know if I was trans or not, go to this place to get my blood drawn because, you know, you have to get your blood drawn if you're going to take estrogen. Lo and behold, this guy all of a sudden started working there, Q's friend. So as soon as I saw him, I just ran out because I'm like, nah, I'm not getting spooked. Because the reason why I'm not getting spooked is because I used to be able to get into these clubs and not have to wait on line. And I'm not trying to risk that for nothing. Like, I'm not going to, for me personally, I'm not going to the clubs to talk to guys. I'm going to the club because I'm trying to dance and have fun with my friends. Like, if guys talk to me, then guys talk to me. But I literally go to have fun. Like, if I'm hanging with a guy, I'm not going to the club. Like, I don't feel like dancing on a guy for real. Like, I could talk to a guy, but I don't care to entertain you all night. No shade. If you guys remember, I posted a story time about the guys in my town knowing T, or finding out T, or people that I don't even know knowing T. Because I used to work at this barbershop and salon, and it was downtown in my town, and I guess that's how people were finding out T, because they were asking questions. Because for one, you have to be, because the curious minds want to know, or curious people want to know. So if you're asking questions, that means you're interested in the kid. And if you're finding out information, if you're finding out T, then that means you're interested in the kid. No shade. People were just asking about me and finding out T that way. People were literally being so funky here. And that's how they found my tea, because I got spooked at a studio session with my cousin. So, mind you, I only went there because my cousin wanted to go see her man. I was literally sitting there not talking to anybody. Mind you, Q was there, Q's friend was there, and Q's little brother was recording. Mind you, I just walk in, I say, hey, I'm not there to talk to guys. I was literally sitting on my phone. Like, not talking to anybody. Like, I don't care. I'm not into, like, everybody knows you do not hoop where you eat. Okay? If you know what that means you do not talk to the guys in your town, because everybody will know T. Especially as a doll, if you don't want information to get out, you don't talk to the guys here. It's just, everybody knows that. But I guess people don't. Because, girl, I just found out people don't know that. After the studio session, I get another phone call from Victoria. He said to her, Q asked Victoria, be honest with me. Is she a guy? Or is she trans? But he used the derogatory term. And she's like tired of him asking. And I guess she basically goes, yeah. And he goes, I knew it. I remember him because he used to work at the grocery store. She corrects him and says she used to work at the grocery store. But all of a sudden now he's slipping up. And he's saying he and him. And he lets her know that his brother knew. The brother from the studio session knew T and told him. He was like, oh, yeah, I went to high school with him. All of a sudden now people are using he, him pronouns. Is it giving he, him pronouns, or now that you know it's giving he, and you are so confused because now your mind doesn't know how to, and now you need to, because you're, yeah, I feel like that's what it gives, because now you're caught up, and now, like, you just don't know why it's giving this, because I can tell you why it's giving what it's giving, but let's really get into my personal history. After saying he knew it, he was pretty much saying he's taking a risk by hanging out with us because of me being trans, and he would have to eventually beat somebody up for that knows, because he was saying how some of his homeboys know and some of them don't know, so he would eventually have to fight somebody. But my thing is, like, you're not taking a risk by hanging out with us. I didn't want to hang out with you. I would never want to hang out with you. The situation that he's been in is because of her, not because we wanted to sit there and frolic and chill with him. Nobody want to hang out with him, just her, not us. Cause babes, we could do a solo, like me and my, like, we don't gotta chill, like y'all could be over there. Please don't ever, like, I hate this whole situation. To me, in my head, I would be like, oh, this is funky, this is interesting, this is weird behavior. Just me thinking as Victoria, like, I would be saying, this is weird. But I guess not everybody's brain operates the same. Because if somebody's saying they're taking a risk by hanging out with your loved one, I'd be like, oh, ew, you're funny. You're interesting. You're weird. You're a weird mother. Common sense isn't so common because, Victoria, why are you not thinking? This could have been the first indication, or I guess by then you were whipped. But that's just me. I guess she was whipped by that guy that broke dangling, because no shade. I know her for never talking to a guy who was broke, never talking to a guy who was beneath her. She always wants to date up. Because for one, he ain't had no car. He ain't had no place to stay. He was always, like, he's the most emotionally scarred person that, like, I don't understand how you can, like I'm not judging. I'm not saying, like, oh, you should never talk to somebody like that. But if somebody is too damaged, why are you going in wanting to fix them? I would understand knowing them and being like, oh, I can help them, I like them because I knew them, but you don't know this man from a campaign, from a hole in the wall. And you just willy-nilly going in there, girl, you have your own problems. He would invite himself, or she would invite him. Now, staying on that topic, we plan to go to brunch with my sister, Victoria, and I. Obviously, you know, me and my sister pull up fashionably late, and there was a spot we were going to go in the next town over for my sister and I, but Victoria had got there before us, and she was like, it's packed in here. We were going to have to go somewhere else because there's no place for us to sit, and the wait list is too long. So we were like, okay, we're going to go somewhere else. Now, we decided to actually go to the town where Victoria is from. She lives 20 minutes away from us, so we just decided to pull up there because it was better. And the music is better. It's definitely more POC. The other place was kind of... But before then, as we pull up for Victoria to get in our vehicle, guess who was there with her? Him! How are you taking a risk, but you're just coming? You're just there. Nobody invited you to this. We clearly said that it was just going to be us. I don't know how, in what translation and what language my cousin heard us say, oh, invite him. We don't know this man from a hole in the wall. A can of paint. I don't understand people who just, whatever. I'm a person with energy. If the energy is weird in the air, I'm going to be like, why are you guys, I don't know. Like, I'm going to pull somebody to the side, like, what's going on? Like, is it cool if I invite this person? But no, they just move to their own beat. When they get in the car, like 5 minutes into the ride, he makes like a weird joke about something. And Victoria was like, don't say that, there's females in the car. There's 3 females in the car. And I was like, well, 2 and 2 males. Just trying to make a lighthearted joke, right? Everybody laughs. I'm thinking, like, because that's what I do. I like smooth things over with humor, because that's the type of person that I am. And I just wanted to get past the weird energy. So everybody was laughing, and then I was like, yo, just for the record, I never wanted to hide the fact that I was trans. I just like, it's not everybody's business, because if I'm not feeding you, if you're not feeding me, well, the 3 F's, scratch that. It's only 1 F. And I think we know what the F is. So if we're not hunching, it's not your business. You know what I mean? Or if I do not have intentions of hunching you, dating you, I feel like it's none of your business. If you buy me a drink at the club or at the bar, I don't feel like I need to tell you, because I'm not going home with you. I don't plan on seeing you after this night. Basically saying, nah, it's cool, like, it's cool, like, we don't need to, like, yeah, like, you cool, it's cool, I don't care, it's your business, like, yeah, we're cool, I promise, and whatever. So we head to the next brunch spot, and yeah. Seating arrangement at this brunch spot is my sister, me, we're sitting across from each other. Q is sitting next to my sister, and Victoria is sitting in front of Q. So we're just chilling. Q is trying to watch the game. Okay, I guess, because, you know, it was a Sunday, we're going to brunch, and a football or whatever game is going. And Q can't really see the game where he's at. There's like a TV, but it's at a diagonal, so he can't really see the game for real, for real. So my cousin is like, oh, switch seats with me, because there's a TV behind him. Like, behind him and my sister, there was a TV that Victoria and I were facing. So she's like, oh, switch seats with me, switch seats with me. And he's like, nah, it's okay, I can see. I wasn't taking it as, oh, he's trying to be funny and don't want to sit next to me. I was taking it as, he don't really feel like moving, right? Because it didn't really give weirdo energy, right? Because I've sat next to him, I spoke to him, we've like chilled, like it's cool. Like we literally like linked at the bar before we went to the, whatever. But before we went to that studio session, we linked at a bar and went to the studio. But he's sitting next to me now. And we're ordering. Him and I order the same Rasta pasta. Well, I say Rasta pasta. So I'm like, oh, so the guys ordered the same thing? Making another lighthearted joke. Everybody laughs and we keep it pushing. So my cousin is the type of person to always say things too far. I see her pick up her phone and she's kind of pointing her phone. So I'm thinking, oh, she's taking a picture of him. 10 minutes later, or 5 minutes later, after them texting back and forth, he gets up and he leaves. Basically storms off. He like gets up and walks outside the building. And we're like, what? Okay. So my cousin is looking flustered. She's looking confused. And she's like, whatever. So she gets up and runs after him. My sister and I was like, what's going on? This is so ghetto. Victoria's acting confused when she comes back. And she's like, he's so sensitive. And we're like, why? At first, she wasn't really trying to tell us why he was being sensitive. But we were like, what's going on? Like, this is weirdo energy. And she shows us her phone. She takes a picture of him. But I'm also in the picture. And under the picture, it says, mind you, I'm just going about what I'm doing. I'm eating. Or I'm like fixing my hair or something in the picture. Like, I'm not doing anything for real. And under the picture, there's a text that says, why are you on a date with a Tranny from my cousin? The person who watched me grow up, the person who babysat me, the person who basically helped propel my trans identity, my transhood, my womanhood. She's over here using derogatory language towards me to a guy. Like, they're making jokes pretty much about it. So it's like, oh, okay. Now I see where I stand with my cousin. I see where I stand. I see how she sees me. Before this time, it was always, you're so beautiful. Make sure you're careful. Make sure you don't hang out with people who give weirdo energy. I feel like you should stop being friends with these people because they're weird. Maybe they're jealous of you because you're prettier than them. I always just heard it and just let it roll off my back because why are you talking about my friends like that? Until this point, she would always be like, I don't want to hang out with a guy with you because you're prettier than me. I don't want them to think you're prettier. Like, you have the face card. And I'm just like, you can't move around in life with this energy because it's so distasteful. Like, why are you so, it's just, like, to me, it just gives, like, jealousy. Like, you only hang out with people that you're prettier than because you want to feel prettier than, like, and you're only hanging out with me because I'm your cousin. I don't get the energy here. I don't. So, we're like, I sit back because I'm like, there's no way I'm reading this from someone who says they love me. There's no way I'm reading this. There's no way. This doesn't make any sense. The type of person my cousin is, she will not understand something. Like, she will, I feel like there's something missing. Like, it's no shade. I feel like there's something missing because how are you not putting two and two together that this is not something you can say about your cousin or about people for real or in their face, in their presence? And I'm just like, did you think I was going to take that as a joke? Or did you think I was going to laugh at that? Like, you're directly talking to me about, like, this person just said that they're taking a risk by hanging out with us. So you already know what type of time they're on, what type of energy they're giving. You can already see it. So why are you doing too much? As always. I don't know what kind of childish games they were playing, but he's coming into the restaurant, walks out, comes in. She's following him, walking in, coming out. Like, they're doing their own thing. And then comes time, like, they're not really coming back. Like, she pays their bill, him and her. And she paid that. Like, no shade. She paid. My sister and I pay our bill. And we leave, right? Mind you, also, why is the man coming to brunch if he's not paying for the whole brunch? Like, why are you here? Why are you here? This doesn't sound good to you. This doesn't sound fab. This doesn't sound tea. What are you doing here? I started walking out because my sister drove there. We're walking out to go to the car, and they're sitting by the car now. He's like huffing and puffing. She's like baby, like trying to smooth things over. And I get in the car because I'm like, what is going on? And he's in the backseat of the car huffing and puffing, and he's like, I'm just gonna say it. So y'all knew about catch this. Victoria has a boyfriend. That is not cute. She has a boyfriend, but he's not satisfying her in the emotional department. He's emotionally unavailable, so she needs somebody who is emotionally available, caring, and attentive towards her feelings when she's not for other people's. He's like, so y'all knew about him? How long have they been dating? I'm like, they've been dating for like 10 years. Like, he didn't put no ring on it after 10 years, but that's not my place to judge. It's not my relationship. I can't say nothing about it because I don't know the ins and the outs of it. I just know bits and pieces of what's going on in it. So I can't really say too much. I can't say too much. I ain't say too much. I ain't gonna say too much. Asking if we knew, and randomly in the midst of me speaking, saying like, yeah, they've been dating, I'm drunk, so I'm entertaining the conversation. Booze. Like, I had like 3 mimosas, but like they had them in like these big like Hennessy and Patron things, so I was drunk. So I'm like entertaining the conversation, and he's like, oh, like, I don't know how he flipped the conversation onto me, and he was like, oh, you've been messing with guys around this town, and like, you and that guy, y'all know, you know who I'm talking about, and he said this guy in my town who's known for being a local ZL and messes with the girls. Mind you, girls have said he slid up in their DMs, but I don't know how true her whatever is, but this guy has been exposed on Facebook, and they put him up there saying that he likes the girls. And this guy knows that there's a rumor about him liking the girls in our town. Like, there's a rumor about him. And somebody asked him, and he was like, yeah, I know. But my thing is, I didn't hang out with this man, but Victoria was talking to him for a minute, right? Catch this. Victoria used to talk to him. She even gave him a nickname. The nickname is Chocolat. Her and Chocolat used to text, they used to talk, they used to FaceTime. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cute for you. Mind you, at the time he was 28 and I was 24 when they were talking. I'm still 24. Maybe I was 23 when her and Chocolat were talking. But I was 23, 2024, I think, most likely. But I never dealt with Chocolat. I never spoke to Chocolat. Me and Chocolat just followed each other, I guess, because we were in proximity to each other. Chocolat's cousin is a rapper and in our town, and I followed him too because we all were like hanging out one time during Halloween, and it was just whatever. Literally, it was nothing. But her and Chocolat were talking. Like, Chocolat was there for her. So I don't understand how Chocolat and I are being thrown in the same boat. I guess because we were in the same proximity, people assumed that I was talking to Chocolat, even though Chocolat was literally next to my cousin. But the whole thing about that situation is, my cousin could have shut the whole thing down if she said that she was the one talking to Chocolat, but she didn't. Him and I are going back and forth, and he's yelling at me. He's getting aggressive. But me, I'm no, like, weak chick. I'm gonna stand up for myself. Like, you're not gonna talk to me crazy. If you're yelling at me, you're not just gonna yell at me. you're gonna hear my mouth too. Like, this mouth goes crazy, babes. I promise you. You don't want to, like, I promise you, like, if we're arguing, I'm not gonna stop. Like, you're not gonna just keep talking, especially if what you're saying doesn't make sense. I'm like, and like, he's just saying things. He's like, oh, you know your track record, like, you know, like, who you dealt with, who you did things with. I'm like, in this town, what? This bum who don't got no car, who don't got no job, who don't got this going on, and I'm just like, you are linking me with him. I literally could just sit. I was literally just sitting there and laughing, because how are you trying to pin a body on me? Pin a body on me. Now, if a trans girl, no shade, if a trans girl is saying she didn't deal with somebody, because usually, no shade, trans girls be trying to be messy, and gay boys be trying to be messy and say they dealt with people when they haven't dealt with them, just to, like, oh, get some clout or do whatever, just to, like, seem whatever. If I'm telling you I never dealt with this person, why are you going so hard saying I did? Who told you that? Like, and he was like, oh, I ain't gotta say nothing. Like, I'm like, no, you do, because who's telling you that I dealt with this person? Who told you that? Like, like, it's so laughable, because who told you that? Who told you that? Like, who said that? Like, who said that? I never talked to this man a day in my life. Like, if, like, literally going through my old Instagram, and I swear to God, like, you could go through our message chat, there's not one conversation. There's not one text. You could literally type his name in my phone. It'll really pop up anywhere. I've never said this man's name. I didn't care about this man. I was like, oh, whatever. Like, he's like, whatever. I don't care about this man. And you're trying to pin him on me? That's so weird. In the midst of us arguing, my cousin's just sitting there. Like, she looks like a small, scared puppy. And I'm like, this man is literally arguing, yelling at me. My sister is jumping in, chiming in, but she's driving, so she can't really do too much. She can't really, like, put her whole heart in it, because she has to focus on driving. But I'm going, like, me and him are like, I'm giving him the Nikki fingers. I'm like, ain't no way, like, you can't, like, I never, like, ain't no way you're trying to pin this man on me. And he's just going hard. My cousin's like, she's a female, don't talk to her like that. Any other time my cousin is talking or debating or having arguments, she's the loudest and ignorant and most annoying person in the room. Now when it comes time to defend your cousin, you're a lost and scared puppy. No. Put the bass back in your voice and let's go. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm like so offended, and I'm offended that I'm sitting here arguing with your man, your second man, your silly man. No shade, you're better off with the first one because he's a lawyer. But I'm sitting over here arguing, and you're just, now it's in you're quiet, you can't say too much, like, Natalie chop up. I can't say too, like, please. Now it's in you're quiet. Like, babes, put some bass in your voice and let's get in this argument. Like, in that situation, I don't care. Like, that's not your boyfriend. Like, you could have literally checked him in that moment. It's like, yo, like, chill out. Like, you could have said something. Like, but you didn't say nothing. You didn't say anything. Like, is that not weird to y'all? Once again, it gives stigmatized. It gives passive. It gives, oh, you think it's about to blow over. Like, no, why am I in this argument now? Why am I a part of this? So, we're like, my sister's like, yo, what's wrong with you? Like, da-da-da. And he's like, yo, let me out. And then, like, my sister pulls off to the side of the road, lets this dumbass out, and she drives forward and he walks backward. Later on, we found out that Q had lied to Victoria and said that my sister ran over the back of his foot, but that's impossible, especially if he was walking the other way than we were driving. See how dudes be lying and saying anything? Yeah, he want to be the victim. So bad. My cousin's just sitting in the backseat like, oh my god, this is so crazy. Not really saying anything. Not really saying, I'm sorry. Nope. So, time passes. I'm calling my friends, letting them know what this man just did, what this man just gave. Like, I'm like, I've never been one of those girls who could just chat about having touch. Like, you could not talk about touching me. I haven't done anything with these men. So, it's just so crazy that people aren't pinning bodies on me. Time goes by. We drop my cousin off at her car, and we go home. And I think it's like hours later, my cousin's calling me. For the next couple days, my cousin's calling me, telling me about him. I think it was like 2 days later. I was like, nah. Respectfully, I said respectfully, I don't want to talk about this man. I never, like, I don't care about him. I don't want to talk about him. I don't want to hear about him. So respectfully, I would wish if you didn't bring this information to us or talk to him about, talk to me about him. I was just waiting and waiting and waiting for an apology from one, him, and two, her for allowing this. Weeks go by, I don't hear anything. And we get a text, my sister and I, saying, oh, we were waiting to apologize, but hopefully, we thought we would run into you guys and just never did. It just felt like there was no sense of urgency to apologize for disrespecting me, for one. And then two, for her allowing him to disrespect me. And three, for her knowing everything that really happened and her not saying anything or coming to my defense. I said, it's been 2 weeks. I'm good. Because I'm not going to sit here and accept an apology that feels so, it just felt so disingenuous, so lackluster. You're not going to wait 2 weeks after you disrespected me 2 weeks ago. What? Nah, if it was me and I disrespected you, I'm going to, even if we're not in good graces, I'm still going to send my apology. My kid and I had an argument one time. Not an argument. I said something and I thought I was defending her. And it really just kind of hurt her feelings when I told her about the situation. So even though she was mad at me, I still let her know how sorry I was about the situation. And I took full accountability and full responsibility for everything, my part. And these people just seem like they just don't know how to do that. I was good off of it because it's been too late for him. Now for her, I'm not understanding. Time goes by. My cousin invites my sister and I over for brunch at her place. She wants to show us her new place. Time comes for us to go over. We go, we see her place. Her place is nice. It's like a great upgrade for her. I was happy for her. Whole time, I'm waiting. She cooks. Makes this clam Alfredo for us. Delicious. I'm still waiting. The whole night goes by and I don't hear not one apology. Crazy, right? My sister and I leave. We don't hear anything. My cousin FaceTimes me. I guess she's just not really grasping that I'm waiting on an apology for her because she's FaceTiming me, talking to me about him and his issues. And I'm like, respectfully, with this whole thing going on, I would have thought that I would have gotten an apology by now. And she was like, well, he tried to apologize. And I said, from you. And she sat there because she was sweeping. She stopped sweeping. She said, oh. And just stared at me. Didn't say a word. Just stared at me. I'm waiting. So we're just looking at each other. I'm waiting. And could you guys guess I never heard an apology from her? To this day, when this happened a year ago. Actually, I don't think a year ago, months ago. I didn't hear anything. When I did that review for Celia here, when I had my sew-in, I didn't hear anything from her. I'm good off of it because I know I'm not going to receive these things from her. I'm not going to receive an apology. I'm not going to receive an adequate apology, especially if I have to tell you to apologize or tell you that I'm waiting on one or tell you that you're wrong, especially when you're 10 years older than me. Nah. She texts us saying, oh, he wants to take y'all out for drinks. I responded so quick. I said, no, just like that, plain and simple. Because you're not going to try and wiggle your way back into our good graces without respectfully apologizing or doing anything. Are you dumb? We had went to brunch with her one more time. I'm thinking, I'm still like waiting for her to say something. I didn't hear anything adequate. Where I brunch, the vibes are so off because one, I had went out the night before and I was tired, drunk, sleepy, hungover, and I was just not in it. So I'm sitting there, I'm not giving it up. I'm not, because I'm tired and I don't have the energy to go back and forth. So I didn't really say anything that whole brunch. I couldn't wait to get home and go to sleep. After that day, I kind of kept our communication at a distance. I haven't really texted her. I haven't really said anything to her. I used her as a reference and that was it. For this new job I have, that was it. I'm keeping people at a distance that disrespect me and hurt me like that, offend me like that. It hurt me more that she would allow someone to do that to me. Being my cousin, being my caretaker, being someone I looked up to. She was almost like an older sister to me. But it just felt like I wasn't family or a sibling to her. So it's whatever. But honestly, tell me what you guys think down below. Hope you guys liked the video. I'll be back with more videos, but my camera is dying and I gotta get out of here.